Group in the House has succeeded in its procedural efforts, but every member of Congress on the record on whether or not to release the Epstein files. Yesterday, we got the deciding signature, number 218, right out of 435. That's a majority, from the newly sworn-in Representative Adelita Grijalva of Arizona. That effort, known as a discharge petition, forces an up or down House vote next week on what is now called the Epstein Files Transparency Act. That act would give Attorney General Pam Bondi 30 days to release, quote, all unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials in the possession of the Department of Justice that relate to Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, flight logs, or travel records, pretty much everything the government has, including internal DOJ communications like emails, memos, meeting notes concerning decisions to charge, not charge, investigate, or decline to investigate Epstein or his associates. So the proposition now before every member of Congress is very simple. You either vote for releasing the Epstein files or you vote against it. And members of both parties are predicting mass defections by Republicans to vote to release the files.
Ro Khanna told us today, your co-sponsor, there could be 40 or 50 Republicans on the House floor who vote for this.
Yeah, I'd say there probably is. I don't see how you don't vote for it, honestly.
It's going to be really interesting next week when this comes to a vote. I think that they're all going to, I think it'll probably be unanimous.
The problem is this Epstein vote, the record is going to last longer than Trump's presidency. And so what are you going to do in 2028 or 2030 when he's no longer president and you sit in a debate either with a Democrat or another Republican and they say, why should we trust you? You voted to protect pedophiles.
Congressman Maxwell Frost, Democrat of Florida, sits on the House Oversight Committee, has been very active on this story, and he joins me now. Good to have you here.
Yeah, good to be on.
I was joking to Ro Khanna and Tom Massey when they were on the program that I have covered so many discharge petition attempts in my career. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, it's a little like an onside kick in football when you're down like 3 touchdowns. It's almost not going to happen. Like maybe. So now it happened. I've never seen one happen before. It's been a very long time. So just walk me through. So Johnson says there's going to be a vote. He's required to have a vote.
Yep.
That vote's going to be next week, and it's going to be on the text of the legislation. And there's no like funny business he's going to pull that's going to make it not happen?
Well, we'll see. We anticipate that he might, that there might be some funny business because the Speaker of the House is essentially a lapdog for the president, right? The Speaker is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So anything that Donald Trump tells him, and I promise you, he is locked away right now the next few days with Pam Bondi and all the other cronies trying to figure out what they can do to stop this. The day of the vote, hours before Adelita Grijalva was even sworn in, he was calling members of Congress. He had Lauren Boebert go over to the White House to pressure
Situation
her.
Room.
Right, in the Situation Room. It is a situation for him because he's in the files, right? And so he's pressuring them to try to get them off. So they're going to look, I mean, we're talking about something that is going to implicate some of the richest and most powerful people in this country and perhaps in the world. They will do anything to make sure that they're not involved here. And so I think we might see some shenanigans, but we're going to press on and continue to fight on this.
So let's say, okay, maybe they try to throw some procedural Hail Mary or they.
Yeah.
So there's going to be.
I'm not sure it'll work, by the way.
Right. So let's say there's a vote. The next question is, I think I know how you're going to vote. You're going to vote to release the files. Yep. What Tim Burchett said there and others, do you anticipate big Republican defections?
I do. Because it comes to a point where, I mean, what Massey said is 100% correct. A lot of these Republican congressmen, they're scareder of Trump than they are of their own constituents, right? And that's why they've been a complete lapdog for him, voted to kick 17 million people off of Medicaid via the big ugly bill and all this other stuff. But it comes to a point where you have to think about the longevity of your career and the fact that a no vote on this is a vote to protect pedophiles, a vote to protect the most powerful people who did the most heinous of crimes, and that will come back to bite them. And not just in the future, now. You'll see protests at their office. You'll see people calling because this is something that Democrats, Republicans, progressives, people on the right, everybody really cares about. And so I think we will see a mass defection. Will it be unanimous? I'm not sure, because there's still going to be people that, even though that's the situation, will still choose to protect Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'm curious to see as it develops is if you do get a vote and it passes, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you still need it in the Senate, right, to make this law. And then you would need Donald Trump to sign it, which seems there's no way you're going to sign it. But you do wonder if watching how much pressure and force this has had to get to this point, whether that does shake things in the Senate. Do you see any world where that happens?
I do. And I put on my organizing hat, right? Number one, we got to fight the fight in front of us, get it through the House. But think about it this way. Every step it goes, there are less people that we have to target and pressure to do the right thing. Once it gets to the House, we go to the Senate, 100 senators. After the Senate, one person, Donald Trump.
Right.
And what we'll see is that
Boy, that's
all
a
of
tough veto, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'd veto it in a heartbeat, but my God, what a disaster.
Yeah, and you think it's bad right now, right?
Exactly.
I mean, his approvals are tanking right now with both Republicans and Democrats. He's very unpopular. Him vetoing that legislation, I think that will be a breaking point that we see. That'll lead to a lot of other losses for his legislative agenda.
Well, there's also to me a little bit, I think post Tuesday, the election last week, it does feel like the specter of lame duckness is in the air.
Oh, yeah.
There was just a little bit of a collective delusion, like this guy's going to like rule it for 1,000 years. And I mean, he's 79, so that always seemed a little short-sighted to me. But also that he was attempting an autocratic roll-up of the government that would render normal politics no longer relevant. That was the project from day one.
Yeah.
That project doesn't look as ticketed for success now as it might have looked, and it kind of looked that way to me unnervingly a few months ago. Do you feel that's true in the House?
I do. I do. Number one, Trump learned from his first administration that his presidency is really 100 days, if that. And that is why the velocity of things that he was doing was much more at the beginning of the year. Now it's a lot slower than what we saw before.
That's a good point.
And it's for many different reasons. Number one, he's dealing with a lot of situations, including Epstein, right, and everything else. We're seeing more defections from even some Republicans in the House. It's a closer margin now with Adelita Grijalva, which is exactly the reason why Mike Johnson waited so long to swear her in. And it's getting harder for him to do what he wants to do. And the opposition is fighting more. And not just like people in Congress, people on the streets, right? I did this national town hall tour with Chris Murphy where we went to Republican districts.
Yeah,
and
we had you on.
Yeah, the amount of Republicans that would come up to us afterwards, they wouldn't raise their hand during the Q&A. They'd come after and like whisper, I voted for the other guy. But my local VA, half the people don't work there anymore, and it's impacting my family. Like, it's easy for Donald Trump to BS and lie about things in D.C., but when you get down to the people and they're feeling things in their day-to-day life, they realize that, number one, the guy's a liar, and number two, it's the same old story. The rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer, and rich elites playing by a different set of rules. And I think that's why this Epstein thing, right, the situation for Donald Trump, cuts through partisan politics for people. It confirms something they already know deep in their heart.